Good afternoon. Welcome to the channel Small Soldier. Yes, I'm back. I guess they found me worthy enough to deliver all this bloody drivel. I'd better get paid this time. I have friends in high places, don't you know? Anyway, it's time for a channel update. So I guess we'd better get on with it then, shouldn't we? This is Higgins' bottom boat. And I suppose, if I have to, I approve this message. Tally-ho. We like to get him out from time to time, you know, so he doesn't go, squirrely.
Alright, these are my completed builds for the year. Well, there's not a lot. I only finished 4, but I did have to learn how to work editing programs, learn how to do YouTube. 4's not bad, I guess, for as much work as I've done over the year. So anyway, this is the first one, the Meng Renault FT17. Great kit. Went together real nice, but fun build. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It's got a full interior in it, so that took a little more time than normal. The camo scheme was a little different as well. It took a while because of the complex track system below. But overall, I'd recommend that kit. It was a beauty to build. That was the first thing for the year. I'll go on to the second. Well, I forgot to mention that first build of the year, the FT17, I didn't have my YouTube channel up and running yet. And same goes with this one here. My YouTube channel hadn't come to fruition yet. I was still working on it at the time, so these are 2 builds that I did before the YouTube channel. Anyway, this is the second build, and it was the Tamiya 72nd scale E4, the helmet wick version. It was an awesome little kit. I believe there's some inaccuracies with it. Didn't really bother me too much. It was a fun build and pretty much built it out of the box. The camo scheme was probably the hardest part to do because of the small sort of sponging in here. I'll zoom in on it and see if you can see it. But in 72nd scale, that's pretty hard to do. I think I tried that about 3 or 4 times before I got the right look and the right texture to it without it looking overscaled or just weird, so that was a challenge. All I added was these aluminum turned barrels on the front of the wings, and the decals were out of the dogfight doubles. I pulled the decals out of that because they were a little thinner. And then of course, as you know from seeing videos on my channel, I do like to kind of make custom bases, so I did make a custom base for this one as well. Those are always fun to do. Making a nice display base to set off the model is always a good thing to do. So that was build number 2. And this is build number 3, and this was actually the first video on my channel. I did the Airfix Spitfire Mk1 in the John Dundas markings. And again, great little kit. Had no problems with it. That one was built straight from the box. Of course, the base was, again, a custom base. Well, it was the Battle of Britain aircraft. I sort of did them similar in fashion, so they kind of matched with each other because they are both Battle of Britain aircraft. And you can see that on my channel. If you just go to the video section, you'll see this particular video in there, or in our library with all the lists of builds. You'll find it there as well. So that was build number 3. And this, of course, was the number 4 build that I did. And if you've been watching any of my videos on my channel, you'll know this was the last project I did work on. It's a 4-part series, actually a 5-part series. There's a bonus video on how I did the base as well. It was done in oil paint. It's an Andrea figure, 90mm. And it's Gunter Preen. He was the bull of Scapa Flow. I don't know if you know the story, but famous U-boat ace who went into the Scapa Flow and sunk some ships and escaped miraculously without getting caught. And that's how he earned his name, the Bull of Scapa Flow. And again, great project, had a lot of fun doing it. And you can check that out on my channel too. It's, like I said, a 5-part series from review to cleaning it up, how to build it, all the way up to painting. That was the last project I did just before the year ended out. That's my year in review for finished kits. Now we'll go on to kits I plan on building in the future and shelf queens. We all have those. Alright, next up, shelf queens. We all have them. We all hate them. Why can't we finish the shelf queens? Why do we build a model kit either 3/4, half, 1/4, and then we put it away? Because there's too many things that catch our attention.
What's all this bloody nonsense going on?
I'm the same as everybody out there, I'm sure. So anyway, here's my list of shelf queens that hopefully will get finished soon, this year or in the near future. So here's the figures section. Here's a Alpine 16th scale figure, sculpted by Mike Good. Actually, the very first figure that Alpine came out with in 16th scale. Fantastic sculpt. And as you can see, I've got the camo pants undercoated in acrylic. The coat undercoated in acrylic. The face is complete. So the face is pretty much done. The cap and the face are done. I just need to dull coat the cap. So yeah, that's a project that is needing to be finished. And this one, whoa, this one goes back probably, I want to see 15 years.
Wow!
The face is almost complete, but that's as far as I got. And the pants are almost complete. Obviously they need dull coating. That is 2 of the large scale figures I still have to complete. This guy here, obviously you've seen the build already of the completed model of the FT17. Now it was originally supposed to be a little vignette with this figure here I'm scratch building. I got as far as almost completing the pants and started working my way up to the bottom of the coat there. And this is being taken from a photograph that I found of a World War I French tanker kind of leaning up like this against his FT17. So that project needs completing this year as well. I'm hoping to maybe do a demo on sculpting on my channel, so look for that in the future, and hopefully I'll get to that soon. This was the temporary base I did for the FT17, just so it has something to sit on. You don't actually see that. I thought it was kind of cool, but with the tank on there you don't really get to view it. So I just took an old trophy base and distressed it, beat it up a little bit with a chain, or I can't remember what I beat it up with, and then just kind of weathered it. So that's all the figure stuff in the shelf queen pile. Now we'll get to the armor.
I think I forgot something.
So when I decided to do the channel update, some items that were supposed to be coming from Kitmaker Network hadn't shown up yet. So I did all the prep for it and I did all the videotaping, and then lo and behold, yesterday these showed up. These are some figures that Kitmaker Network sent me, thanks Jim, to do a review on. And they are from Blitz Kit, a company out of France. There's not too much information on the boxes. I've had a quick peek at them, and I can tell you right now that these are excellent, excellent figures. The quality of the casting is superb. Probably more than likely be doing a paint demo on one of these guys as well. I've had some people ask me about doing a 35th scale tutorial. One of these guys is going to get painted up in a demo, so look forward to seeing those. Alright, shelf queens with armor. Here we go. The Sahara Anna. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this vehicle. It's an odd little Italian, what would you call it, like a Jeep I suppose? It was mounted with several different types of weaponry. This one has just a couple of machine guns on it. But I've upgraded it with the Royal Models detail set, so it's got a bunch of resin and photo etch. And as you can see here, the jerry cans are built that go along the sides here. I've got the windscreen is almost complete, and I have some photo etched brackets on tools here. You can zoom in here and you can see it. Very, very fine photo etch brackets. There's these little jerry can holders for the front with a horn there. That all goes on the front. And then I have resin wheels here that I've upgraded them with. And they're just on there loose. It does come with a full engine detail, but you don't really see it once the back is all put together. But as you can see, I've added all the grab handles along the fenders and the side here. And inside you can see there's some photo etch bottom, and there's some photo etch dials. I textured the seat a little bit, give it a little more dimension. Back here there was some photo etch grills, which they're already painted. You can see through to the engine, but you're not going to see much of it. Same thing on the top, there was photo etch there. A resin muffler. So that's one of the builds I've done, well, still working on. Next up is the Bronco Humber Scout car Mk1. I've upgraded this one too with resin wheels, the Legend stowage set. So there you can see I've added some grab handles. You can see the brass boxes on the side of the doors. This is a complex piece of photo etch. The roof section, rather grueling session of photo etch. You can see all the boxes and ammo containers on the sides. And this crisscross thing I had to put in here. So yeah, that was fun. There's the dials and the gauges, which are nice. So this is why we burn out, I think, sometimes on these shelf queens, because you can see the amount of photo etch I had to do on the inside of this. It's a complete interior. And then just looking down at what I've got here, you can see ammo containers, and they have photo etch details on them as well. Bracket along the back here, and they all hang off the side. And then the tub, Thompson goes here on those brackets. Different components in there, foot pedals. That's another one that's kind of slowing me down too. You know, you just lose your mojo with it. And I've lost my mojo! Go on to the next. So hopefully I'll get back to that one eventually as well. And the third shelf queen in Armour is the Tamiya Matilda Mk3 4, the new one that was released a few years ago. And that's kind of where I am with that. I have a driver figure that I modified the inside so he'll fit in there. Then I've added some scratch stuff, some of these handles here, which come. And you can see some tool brackets that I scratched out of styrene. Guards for the lights on the front. Did a little cast texture on the front there. And you can see I just emulated some interior parts just to fake it, so when the hatches are open you kind of see something, but it's not really accurate, but no one will see it that dark and deep into it anyway. And I scratch built that piece on the back. I believe it's a light, reverse light, I guess, or a brake light. Added some wiring down there. And then actually along the back here on the fuel canister. And then, I don't know if you can see them, but there is rivet detail in there, and that's the Archer rivet transfers. And they worked pretty good to add that rivet detail that's supposed to be there that they don't give you in the kit. So that's where that is. I think I spent more time actually working on the figures than anything. They're resin figures, but I added hornet heads and added some ammunition pouches. And then along the back here, I added all the strapping for the canteens that was missing, and the strapping for the rifle sling. This guy is a Bren gun operator. Again, I added a bunch of detail to the front of the barrel there. Added the tripod, bipod mount. Added all the details to the Bren gun. Let's pull that off. And the weapons do come away from the bodies so that I can paint them separately. I've pinned them, and you can see there I've added the sling detail. The Bren gun, I added the slings and the clasps, and then the driver's a mock-up so it looks like he's driving from below. Of course there's the figures that came with the kit, which aren't too bad, and I just added some hornet heads to them. And then I also added, or will be adding, the Line Mark 2-pounder gun and Bessa machine gun. And I've added some photo etch out of the Edward set for the Matilda. And the last shelf queen on my list that I need to finish one day is the Tamiya BT7. I started this kit 8 years ago. It was released in 2010. Fantastic kit. There was nothing about it that was hard to put together. They give you a little bending jig for the screen on the back, which makes it easy to do. You know, it's got weld beads where they need to be. Overall, a very pleasurable build. The only thing I added here is the Fruel tracks, which you can see I've blackened. They just need some dusting and weathering. It's going to be set up sort of like that in a little vignette. On the turret, I did add turned metal machine gun on the front. I made the suspension a little workable. I cut the pins that hold the tires in so that if I want to articulate it a bit, those will move. And then the figures, they're pretty much just the stock Tamiya figures, other than I added the Alpine heads and I added resin hands to this fella here. And this figure here, he's got the resin hornet head, and I've altered the pocket here so that his hand is actually in the pocket. But that's it. That's all the shelf queens, and hopefully we'll get to all these later down the road as well. So next on the list will be up and coming kits that I'm looking to build in the new year. So we'll take a look at those now. Alright, next up is projects that I am planning on doing in future builds. I have a lot of projects here that I want to show you. First up, figure related things. I want to do a video on painting a bust. I have 3 here that I'm debating on, and they are 2 post-militaire and an Andrea bust. I'm leaning towards this one here just because I think he's kind of cool, and I have wanted to paint him up for quite a while. So those 3 are some figure projects I'm looking to do. If you want to comment below and let me know what you would like to see on the channel, I guess I'll take a consensus on that and see where that lies and go with a decision from there. A smaller figure that I'm looking to do as well is this Model Seller 54mm Billy Bishop figure. Since I'm Canadian,
good day, welcome to the Great White North Canadian Corner.
I figured, you know, why not paint a Canadian figure? And this fella here is quite the icon, and it's a beautiful sculpt. Yeah, I'm looking to do a video on that as well. And next is this set that I thought looked kind of cool. I'm pretty much going to build it out of the box. Probably alter this guy a bit. These 2 figures are quite nice in the box as they are. So look for that coming up in the channel eventually, and I will do a full review on this kit as well before building it. I want to review these kits here. You don't see a lot of civilian kits on the market. Mini Art has released 3 sets. There's this one, I think they've got more actually. These are the 3 I have. So I want to do a review on those kits as well, and possibly use some of those figures. Okay, I've got some armor kits and aircraft that I'm planning on doing eventually on the channel as well. First up is this guy, the Grumman F14A Tomcat by Tamiya. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this kit. Everyone that's built it said it's a dream to build. That will be another build I'm looking forward to doing on the channel. And this guy here, another Tamiya kit. We all know Tamiya kits are usually some of the best out there, and this one's no exception. Apparently it's a dream as well to put together. It's got some really cool options, and the way things fit and the way it's engineered is supposed to be outstanding. That's another kit I want to get to this year. She's on the list. And the last aircraft is the P-40B Warhawk. I've always liked this aircraft, the iconic shark teeth on the side. This version is showing the Pearl Harbor aircraft, which I'm not sure if I'd build that or the other one. So look forward to that coming up eventually on the channel as well. And last but not least, armor builds. So first off, if you don't know me, I tend to love weird Russian early war armor and desert campaign stuff. This Tamiya kit, another apparently great kit to build as well. And of course all these kits I'll do full inbox reviews on as well. Next up, early war Russian armor. This Hobby Boss T26 light infantry tank, 36-37, and I would do it up, I think, as it shows here on the box, in the Spanish Civil War decal option. It's kind of a cool, I like the colors on the turret there. So that is another build you can look forward to seeing on the channel eventually. Next up is this guy. It's a bit of an oddball as well. Like oddball things, which you'll also see in a minute. This, I'm not really sure how to say that, Neubau Fahrzeug NR3-5. I'm pretty sure this was used in Finland. I think they only put 2 of them into combat. They weren't very successful tanks, but you know, it's kind of neat, those multi-turreted crazy tanks they had in the beginning of the war. And there's a competition coming up. Blitzkrieg is the theme for this show, and I was thinking of doing this one. Another desert tank, the M3 Grant by Tacom, and it looks like an amazing little kit as well. So that, you can look forward to seeing that one as well eventually. Now, talking about oddball earlier, I've had this one for some time. Since my all-time favorite war movie is Kelly's Heroes, and some of you may laugh. And obviously it's not a realistic war movie, but it's got such a great cast of characters, and my favorite character obviously is Oddball, the tank commander of the Sherman tank. So I have this kit here, which goes with the Tamiya M4A3. And this is the oddball conversion for the tank. So I'll be able to build Oddball's tank from the movie. And that'll be kind of a cool build. I've got a lot of accessories in this one. So that one you can look forward to seeing eventually as well. So last but not least is this fella here, who I just recently had sent to me from Jim Starkweather down at Kit Maker. I'll be doing a full review and build of this kit for that channel. Sorry, for Kit Maker. This is the first build I'll be doing next, is this. And it is an oddball as well. Apparently there was, I think, only 30 of these made. Built off a T-34 chassis with this big weird artillery turret on the top.
Oh, gnarly!
So I'll be doing a full inbox review of this guy, as well as a full build, painting, weathering, the whole 9 yards. So look forward to that coming up as well. So that was 2018, and this will be 2019. Hopefully I'll get to most of it. Just a couple more things before I go. One thing I forgot to mention was the HMS Hood. It's an ongoing project. I haven't had as much time to work on it as I'd like to have, but I'm hoping to put a lot more time into it in the new year here. And I'll be doing small segments on the ship throughout the year as I move along on it. Another new thing that I will be doing in the new year, 10-minute tips and techniques. It'll be 10 minutes and under, no longer. So I should be able to upload more video more often. And I also have new editing programs. That's a bit of a learning curve for me as well. That should improve the quality of video, I'm hoping as well. Last but not least, I just wanted to do a few shoutouts to a few channels here that I feel are worthy of you checking out. Number one is Shane Smith Scale Models. Go check him out. He does a lot of armor builds. He does figure tutorials as well. Check him out. Panzergrau Models. He puts out armor and aircraft videos, scale car models, and motorcycles. He's doing some great stuff over there. Go check him out. Of course, I'll put a link below to all these YouTube channels so you can check them out there. And Milan Dufek, I hope I pronounced that properly, Milan. He does mainly busts, and he does all oils. He's excellent as well. Go check him out. I hope I get this right. Put my glasses on for this one. Olga Kropotova. Hope I said that right, Olga. You'll be amazed at her painting style. It's mind-blowing. You need to go check her out. She does some crazy, insane painting. So you should go check her out as well. Panzermeister 36. He's just a young fella, but man, does he know his Stugs. This guy knows just about everything there is to know about Stugs. His weathering techniques are fantastic, and good builder, photo etch, weathering techniques, and that kind of thing. So go check him out as well. And that's pretty much it, folks. I'll keep you updated throughout the year as I go along, as I make my videos. So, as always, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment below to let me know how I'm doing or if there's things you guys want to see or anything. So until next time, stay safe, build lots of models, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
See if we can get this time. Oh, there we go. Oh, crap. Oh, blimey. Oh, here we go again. Take two. Let's see if we got stuff here.